Well, good evening, everybody. Thank you so very much for joining us. This is MSJDN's State of MSJDN for the calendar year 2021. My name is Kristen Jones. I'm the current president of MSJDN, and I'm joined this evening by Lyndsay Lujan, our president-elect. Again, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. We have so much exciting stuff to talk about. In many ways, 2021 has been a banner year for MSJDN, even in the face of the challenges that the pandemic brought us. I think everyone hopefully noticed that June 15th of this year was MSJDN's 10th anniversary. And it's just been thrilling to celebrate that with all of our members, past and present, all of our sponsors and partners and hiring partners, and all of our friends out there in the military community. It took hundreds and hundreds of volunteers to build MSJDN into the force that it is today. And it's just been an amazing time celebrating that growth with each and every one of you. I've loved reflecting on MSJDN's history and how far we've come. And 2021 itself was very eventful for us. As I said, banner year. And at different points in the year, it kind of felt like MSJDN was just happened to be in the right place at the right time. You're going to hear some amazing accomplishments that our different committees celebrated this year. But the fact is, it wasn't this committee, it wasn't this board, it wasn't this leader. It was 10 years of building this organization and growing together to position ourselves into the right place at the right time to see all of these accomplishments. So thank you for being here tonight. Thank you for celebrating throughout the year. And for anyone who hasn't seen it yet, go to msjdn.org/cheers to see that 10th anniversary video celebration. It was a labor of love, so much great information, and such a great celebration of what we've accomplished to date. One of the big changes you saw in 2021 was our new look. I'm going to hand it over to Lyndsay to tell us a little bit more.
Thanks, Kristen. And I'm sure you've all noticed, but just before we celebrated 10 years, MSJDN revealed our updated logo. As you can see, our logo contains 6 pillars, and each pillar represents a branch of the military service our military families are part of, and our continued commitment to improving the lives of military families. This year, we also launched our new website that includes new behind-the-scenes and a new behind-the-scenes operating system that will allow MSJDN to better interact with our members and better retain information for the future. Additionally, our governance committee and finance committee have been hard at work reviewing our governing documents and policies to streamline operations and set MSJDN up for more growth and success in the next decade of advocacy.
And then on the front lines of the organization, we've seen a lot of member engagement this year as well. For a lot of our associations, COVID was a huge challenge in this department. At MSJDN, we're used to getting together virtually, and I think we did a great job this year. Many of you are planning holiday meetups. We hosted several webinars and virtual social hours and a trivia night. It's just been great seeing everybody near and far, and reminding ourselves that the technology is there. We can get together, whether or not we have the excuse, whether or not we have the pandemic conditions. Our membership level, our numbers have been at record highs. And for me, that's such an encouraging sign. And it's a recognition of the power of this network, the huge impact that this organization has on each and every one of us. And frankly, what we all bring to the table. The more of us join MSJDN, the stronger we are. The strength in this network is the network. It is the people. It is you. So thank you for coming out. Thank you for renewing. Thank you for bringing in your friends. We've seen a huge influx of law students. It's just been so encouraging to see everyone jumping in and helping each other out. In October of this year, we hosted our 9th annual Making the Right Moves conference, and it was our second all virtual conference. We had record attendance. It was fantastic. The conference typically is in person, and silver lining, the pandemic forced us online, and we saw over 130 people register this year. And building on last year's success, we were able to bring in more sponsorship money, which is always nice. That allowed us to offer free attendance to all of our law students. We loved seeing law students in the discussion groups, in the social hours. It was really great to include a lot of these new members and give them that introduction to MSJDN. So of course, we're looking forward to more opportunities to get together at the end of this year and moving into next year.
And as MSJDN is continuing to grow, MSJDN has committed to ensuring that as a bar association, we're also committed to supporting diversity, equity, and inclusion within the profession. We began our commitment by educating ourselves about the importance of DEI and how to evaluate DEI within our own organization. And just last Sunday, the board approved a motion to elevate our DEI initiative to a full committee and to add its committee chair to our board of directors. The DEI committee will help MSJDN evaluate all future policies and guide our mission into the future.
And I'm so thrilled about that, Lyndsay. Licensing, state licensing. This has been a cornerstone of MSJDN's mission and one of our guiding principles when the organization was founded. The good news here is that our progress is actually starting to slow down. We only have 9 more states to go. Nevertheless, we are still going to work on those 9 states. We are going to get those 9 states. Your licensing committee saw new license policies adopted in New Mexico and Iowa this year, and we've made really great strides in New Mexico. New Mexico has been underway for over 5 years. Kudos to that committee. You have some dedicated volunteers who stuck with it, found new partners, new supporters, new inroads, and they have continue to push our rule forward. So this is exactly the energy that we need to bring to those last 9 states. Right now, we have efforts underway in Montana, Mississippi, Louisiana, and Wisconsin. So if anyone out there has connections or friends in those states, please get in touch. We would love to hear from you and hear your ideas on how we can get those states interested in adopting rules to support this community. The committee has, of course, also had to expand their focus. One of the things that we're also looking at is 9 states that have existing rules have imposed a supervision requirement. Needless to say, it's counterproductive. It's very difficult to get a license if you need a supervising attorney to look over your shoulder and come to court with you. It's extremely difficult to use those 9 rules. So the committee has begun the process of going back and petitioning those states to look at their rules, reevaluate the function of those rules, and hopefully change those rules. Even in the next 5 or 6 days, we have a couple of great conversations coming up with some of these states to say, look, we're so thrilled that you thought of us, but this isn't quite working. And we are going to continue hounding these states until they get it right for this community. Another new focus you may have seen is licensing fees. We have a fantastic volunteer in Kentucky who brought this to the state bar's attention. Right now, active duty attorneys who are barred in Kentucky have the privilege of not paying membership dues while they're out of state. So we're asking the Bar Association to consider extending that privilege to military spouses. Give us a reason to hold on to that license even when we PCS. Don't encourage us to drop the license because of the fees. I'm curious to see what Kentucky will do. This is a new initiative for MSJDN. Again, we are in the right place at the right time, and we have some great friends in Kentucky. So we'll see if we can find some traction there. It would be a huge boon for many of us in the future because we have to carry around so many of these licenses.
And we all know that licensing is only half the battle when it comes to employment. So MSJDN has also been hard at work on military spouse employment initiatives this year too. As we talk with corporate and government partners, we keep hearing that more and more employers see the benefit of remote, flexible hires like military spouses. This year, we hosted a job fair as part of our Making the Right Moves conference and have plans to host more standalone events to introduce MSJDN members to employers. Behind the scenes, the Homefront to Hired Committee is also working with LinkedIn to develop resources and training specifically for military spouses searching for work or looking to expand their network. Our Federal Employment Committee has also been extremely active with several webinars in the works and continues to support our initiatives that eliminate barriers to military spouse employment. And lastly, MSJDN in partnership with the Veterans Legal Advocacy Group, launched the Military Spouses Representing Vets Fellowship. And already 2 military spouse attorneys are already employed with the Veterans Legal Advocacy Group, advocating for veterans before the Court of Appeals for Veterans Claims and the Board of Veterans Appeals. So we're so excited that initiative has already launched, and so grateful for the Veterans Legal Advocacy Group and our sponsor, Aiken Gump, that has pushed that initiative forward and is pushing us and MSJDN into the future. So thank you so much. But that is not all we're doing. MSJDN's foundation is also committed to continuing MSJDN's pro bono work and MSJDN's mission to give back to the military community. This year, Justice for Military Families, or JMF, has connected 43 Gold Star families with low income or low bono or pro bono services. We would like to thank the tireless efforts of the 15 volunteers that are required to run this program annually. We know that so many of our volunteers are committed not only to MSJDN, but this specific mission, and we are so proud and thrilled to continue on with this work. JMF itself has also been expanding its reach and by partnering with new organizations to place more cases. JMF is proud to work with the Phi Alpha Delta Law Fraternity International, Operation Foxhole, and the ABA Pro Bono Project. So look for those partnership announcements and ways that JMF is expanding for the future.
So speaking of development, everybody's favorite buzzword when it comes to foundations, MSJDN has really focused on development the past year. And when we talk about development, we mean dollars in the bank, but we also mean those partnerships. We can do more with more. We need more friends, more partners, more hours in the day, and more dollars in the bank. So that's been a focus of MSJDN this year. For 10 years, we've seen this steady strategic growth, but for that to continue, we have to look to the future. So MSJDN has just had a record-breaking fundraising year, which has been amazing. And again, not just putting that money in our bank account, but working more closely with some of our standby partners over the years in order to launch the job fair that we had at Making the Right Moves. Hopefully you also saw that we worked with Amazon's legal department and the DC Bar to participate in a Veterans Day legal assistance project. When we talk about sponsors and partners, we're talking about the programming that we can accomplish together. Another huge headline that I hope everyone saw is that this year MSJDN received the largest grant in its history. We received a $260,000 sub-award from the Institute for Veterans and Military Families at Syracuse University. MSJDN over the next 2 years will be part of IVMF's work on what's called a Community Navigator Grant from the Small Business Administration. The idea here is to support veterans who own their own small businesses by giving them the wraparound support they need. They're going to receive services from career coaches, from accountants, and from MSJDN's attorneys. The idea here is to use this money to pass it through to our members. Our members are going to provide services to these veteran small business owners at no cost to the veteran, and the grant will pay the MSJDN member for her time and for her work. I just love this approach. I'm thrilled because it serves this dual purpose for us. We're providing culturally competent legal services. We're improving legal services for the military community while also creating these business streams for MSJDN members who are themselves small business owners and entrepreneurs and building their book of business and building their practices and building their own networks. So I'm really thrilled to share that with you, and stay tuned. We will have more details as they become available, and certainly we'll be sharing that with our members so that you will know soon how you can participate and how your practice can benefit from this program. Finally, we've received so much support from MSJDN members themselves. So many of you gave us an extra $10 donation to celebrate our 10th anniversary. You gave to us a couple weeks ago as part of Giving Tuesday, and you've been purchasing swag from our new online store and from our Riveter campaign. So thank you. Thank you for showing your support. Thank you for donating to the cause. And thank you for giving us your time and your energy. As we've said, we can do more with more. And part of our strategic growth at this point is going to be to hire staff. For 10 years, MSJDN has been all volunteer. Even today, we have more than 100 volunteers behind the scenes. We are ready to hire an executive director. I am thrilled. The position is part-time, at least for starters. It's fully remote. It's totally flexible. You've heard the huge impact that MSJDN has had in the past 10 years, and you've heard all of the accomplishments we've racked up during 2021. Our executive director is going to be the glue that holds this organization together, keeps us on track, and helps us continue to strategically expand and grow and fulfill that mission that means so much to all of us. So to close out, here's the call to action. Number one, apply to be the executive director. If this is the right opportunity at the right time, we would love to hear from you. Go to msjdn.org/exec, EXEC. You'll find all the details. Submit the application if this is the right time for you. If not, think about joining our board of directors. I think applications are going to open in January, so you'll start hearing about that soon. Lyndsay, our president-elect, will be building her team, and you've heard about her focus, her priorities, and what MSJDN is looking forward to in the year to come. Bring your talent, bring your ideas. We need your leadership, and there's no question that you are a leader. You know how to tackle challenges, and you know what this organization means to its members. If you're not quite ready for the board, don't worry, we've got plenty of other volunteer opportunities. Think about the committee work that you've heard today. Decide what resonates with you and then reach out. All of our committee information, all of our contact information is at msjdn.org. And every single one of our directors and committee heads would love to hear from you. There's always so much more work to be done, and we'd love for you to be a part of it. So lastly, thank you for being a part of this astounding community. I'm thankful for each and every one of you. Every day you make sacrifices for your career, for your family, and for the legal profession. You are easing the path for all of the military spouses coming behind you. So thank you. Thank you for everything you do day in and day out. Cheers to 10 years. Cheers to 10 more. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone.